What is up, guys? Today we're talking about 5 places you absolutely should not be displaying your high-end collectibles. Let's go. Okay, so you've got your collection of high-end statues or props or whatever it is that you're into, and you think you're hot shit, but surprise, you might be storing that stuff in a place which is not going to be good in the long run. So let's talk about five places you should never store your high-end collectibles. A couple of these are simple, and I know you veteran collectors, some of you will know about them. A couple are not so obvious and they're worth talking about. Oh my God, who's texting me? Number 1, keep your high-end collectibles out of direct sunlight. And I don't care what type of windows you have. Some windows, like, oh, it filters out UV light. No, not all of it. Doesn't do the trick. I mean, if you're thinking about that light hitting that thing day in, day out, not a good idea. That UV light will come in and slowly bake and bleach the paint right off of your statue, causes finish problems. As it warms the statue expands and contracts depending on the material, which is also bad for a whole host of reasons. Don't do this. Stay the hell away from windows. Point number 1. Oh my God, Chewy, what's that? It's another horrendous place to display collectibles. High humidity. High humidity is point number 2. Humidity is a major villain for all types of stuff, especially when it comes to collectibles. I'm looking at you, premium format statue. It's not good for the fabric materials, especially if you have like high humidity. You can actually get mold in those fabrics, and good luck cleaning that off. Virtually impossible. And more importantly, that humidity actually affects the other hard materials that the statue is made out of and is not good for the paint, which with the right amount of humidity you can have flake right off. So if you are in a region that's more humid, get a dehumidifier. If you're keeping your stuff in the basement and you think like, well, it's not that humid here, I'll probably be okay. Wrong. I'm telling you right now, most basements get pretty darn humid. If your humidity is above 50%, you got to deal with it. Quite frankly, I try to keep my collection space at about 40%. Because I don't want all this shit getting destroyed over time. Number 3. Why do I have notes on my phone and on paper? One would ask. And I don't know. It's not an efficient system. It's not working well for me today. I can tell you that much. Okay, number 3. Here we go. Now, this one I see all the time, and I have actually done this, and it's not a good idea. Do not display your statues or props or whatever you have on subwoofers. And you're probably thinking, well, why would I have it on a subwoofer? Well, because most subwoofers are big wood boxes that take up a crap load of room in your cave, right? And they have a big flat surface on top. Like I have a cylinder over here, I have a square 12 over there. There's a big flat surface, they're built like a tank, they're like theoretically perfect for putting a statue or prop or collectible on. Except that all those little or not so little vibrations over time get transferred to whatever's sitting on top of it. Let's say you have a standard resin or polystone statue. You might have some cracks that aren't yet visible. And over time, the vibrations of that subwoofer are going to expand those. And then one day you might walk down and find that your statue's laying on the ground in a million pieces because it's literally exploded. It's cracked in half at one of those weak spots. Additionally, those vibrations can be really hard on electronics, especially in custom pieces where the electrical is not as robust as a manufactured, larger edition size type of piece. So subwoofers, big, natural, pedestal-looking shapes, but avoid them at all cost. It is not worth the risk. Okay, so this next one, what are we on, 4? I think we're on 4. Never display a statue or a prop where it protrudes beyond whatever it's on. Does that make sense? Poke equals breakage. And this is not so much like an environmental condition as it is like a risk factor for totally screwing up your statue. I've seen so many collections where a piece is a little bit too big for a shelf, so an arm or a part pokes out of the display cabinet that it's in, or it's on, maybe you have a collectible that's on top of a shelf and it kind of hangs over a little bit because it's big and awkwardly sized. You may know just the right way to navigate your collection room and avoid all these little pokey things. Yeah, hello, your guests don't. Your pets sure as hell don't. Make sure it's contained and like a little bit protected and not sticking out there where it's gonna be a fishing line, just looking to reel in some unsuspecting guest that can drag it to the floor. Now this last point, I know the know-it-all collectors out there are going to be acting like, well, this is so obvious. Who would ever do this? But there's more to it than it appears. So just bear with me and suck it up until the end of this thing. Don't ever display your high-end collectibles in a dusty environment. Problem with dust is not that it's a pain to clean off. I mean, yes, that sucks. It's every statue collector's like nightmares cleaning dust off of an intricately detailed piece. This is not that detailed, but you know what I mean. Once a statue gets a certain amount of dust on it, it starts to attract like grime and weird oils and airborne contaminants, which like aren't totally intuitive. You don't really think about those cruising around in your display room, but they're there. And if you build up enough dust, it starts to attract that. And then that stuff actually can eat into your paint finish or gum it up. I've seen that happen before where a paint kind of gets tacky, which that is a true nightmare when that happens. Yeah, this is all really bad news. And at that point, it's not about like, oh, it got dusty and I have to clean it. Yeah, you got a major problem on your hands. You might have destroyed the finish of your piece. They have air purifiers that'll suck a lot of that stuff out of the air and prevent all that dust buildup anyway. Just keep them clean, keep them dusted. I mean, if you can, keep them in a display case where you're not going to have any surprises. You'll be way happier in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Those are 5 places you should absolutely never display your high-end collectibles if you want them to look good and you want them to last. I'm Kevin. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like this. And I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. That button is down there. Here, I think. It's down here somewhere. Hit that bell button so you get the notifications. And we'll catch you next time. Later. Bye. What's up, guys? Today we're doing 5... Wow. What am I doing? I've totally forgotten what I had to say. Not it. Let's cut there. Let's put a cut on her.